In this video, I'll show you how to review and grade students' homework assignments once they submit them, and how to share that information with your students. Here's how to do it. Before I demonstrate the mechanics of reviewing student homework, it's important to point out that there are two settings that can affect the homework experience for you and your students. The first is homework notifications. By default, email notifications are turned on so that once a student completes a homework assignment, you'll receive an email letting you know. The second is the auto-release answer key. It's disabled by default, but enabling it will allow your student to see the answer key immediately upon submitting their assignments. I'm recording this video using the default settings, but I'll talk later about these settings and why you might want to change them. To check the status of a student's homework assignments, click on their name in the Student Management area to visit their profile. Let's take a look at this student. In the lesson history table, each row is a lesson in which I've enrolled the student. Placement tests appear at the top of the table, followed by lessons in reverse chronological order. The most recent lessons are at the top of the table. The columns display the date, the name of the lesson, the homework status, whether it's been reviewed, and actions. The homework status column tells me the status of the homework assignment, whether it's not assigned, assigned, started not submitted, or submitted. And a check in the reviewed column tells me if I've reviewed the assignment. The action icons change according to the homework status, but the first icon is a preview of the homework assignment, which opens in a new browser tab. Let's take a look at the actions for each status. For homework that's not assigned, the plus sign allows me to assign the homework directly from here. I can choose to CC anyone or set a due date. For homework that's assigned, I now have a gear icon, and I can click to manage it. Clicking this gear icon allows me to remove the assignment or add or change the due date. For homework that's started but not submitted, I now have an active eye icon, which tells me that I can click to view student answers. Clicking on this will open the student's homework in a new browser tab. Any homework that's been assigned may also display an icon with a clock arrow, which means I've given this student this assignment at least once before. Clicking the icon shows me the assignment history, where I can see the status and view the answers of different versions. Homework that's been submitted has the same set of actions as homework that's been started. Let's take a look at the students' answers to give them feedback by clicking on the eye icon. This is the homework review screen. The answer key is on the left side, and the students' answers are on the right. Right away, you'll notice that some of the students' answers are in orange and some are in green. Many question types on homework assignments are auto-corrected. These include gap fills, multiple choice, true or false, and matching. When a student's answer to an auto-corrected question doesn't match the answer key, it's displayed in orange. Keep in mind that orange does not automatically mean incorrect. It just means that you as the teacher should take a look and possibly offer feedback. This homework assignment features a gap fill, and we can see that the student has answered both 1 and 5 incorrectly using the wrong terms. Number 2, which is also displayed in orange, contains the correct term, but it's misspelled, which is why it's displayed in orange. I'll show you how to use the homework correction tools to give the best feedback to your student. On the right side, we can see a notepad icon, a check mark, and an X. I can drag these icons to the questions in order to mark them. The check and the X mark the questions correct or incorrect. I can drag the X to number 1 to mark it as incorrect. I will now drag the notepad to number 1 so that I can leave written feedback. I can write the correct answer, and when I click Save, it will display an icon beneath the question that will reveal the written feedback when I hover over it with my mouse. To avoid confusing my student, I'll mark number 2 as correct, but I'll use the notepad to give my student more feedback, letting them know the correct spelling of leprechaun. Here I can use the Input Student Answer button to bring my student's text into this box. I can use formatting features to bring attention where it will be most helpful. Once I'm finished correcting this page, I'll move on to the next page. This page contains writing activities. Questions that only have one correct answer are shown in orange and green, as you saw on the previous page. For free text questions, where many responses are possible, your students' answers are shown in blue. Because there is no answer key for free text questions, I'll click on these arrows to hide the answer key. Here I can see a free text question. On the speaking activities, your student will have the option to record themselves giving an oral answer in addition to a written answer. If they've done so, I can click the play button to hear their recording. Let's look at my student's answer. I see that my student missed an apostrophe and used an incorrect verb conjugation, so I'll use the notepad to give them feedback using the Input Student Answer button and the formatting tools provided. I can also leave my student general feedback on the assignment by dragging the notepad to the area at the bottom. Once I'm finished reviewing the homework, I can click on Close the Classroom, and the system will ask me if I would like to mark this lesson as reviewed. Marking the homework as reviewed will release the answer key and my feedback to the student. Once I mark it as reviewed, the classroom closes, and now a check mark appears in the Reviewed column. Now I'd like to revisit the 2 homework settings I mentioned earlier. I can click on my name at the top right to bring up the menu, then click on my profile, and then to my Settings tab. The first set of settings concerns notifications for both myself and my students. By default, your student gets an email notification when you assign homework and when you review it, and you get a notification when your student submits homework. You also have the options to enable a reminder email 24 hours before an assignment is due and change the default due date. The other important homework setting to note is the auto-release answer key, which is disabled by default. When this feature is enabled, students get immediate access to the homework answer key the moment they submit the homework. If this feature is enabled, the students can compare their answers to those provided in the homework answer key. This setting gives you the option to let students review their own work before you review it. Shortening the gap between submission and review allows you to review the work at a later time, once the student has already had the opportunity to review their own work.